Today we're going to be talking about the Shure MV7, which is pretty cool, pretty convenient, all in one package. Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the Shure MV7. We've been excited about this microphone for quite some time and for good reason. This is a duo XLR and USB microphone, and it has headphone built-in monitoring, which is pretty cool, pretty convenient, all in one package. This is the podcast kit. As you can see, it comes with the Manfrotto Pixie Mini tripod. Very handy, very sturdy. I'm not going to shake it around as to not disturb the audio. And as you can see over here, we've got some levels and monitoring that helps us to both play with the headphone output as well as the microphone gain. So right now the microphone gain is at about between 50 to 60%, both on USB and on the external recorder. So I'm gonna turn down the gain a little bit and you should be able to hear that via the USB connection. So we're gonna go down, down, and now I'm gonna turn it back up, all the way up where it gets a little too sensitive and you can hear everything around me. And that's at full volume with the USB connection. Let's bring it back to the original signal. And now we're gonna test out the mute button, which is right over here. So I'm gonna keep talking, but then as soon as I press it, you're gonna notice sound goes off and it should be without even a click. So this is the Shure MV7, and right now, and now we are disengaging the mute button. So one of the coolest things about this microphone is how well it responds to picking up the voice while also rejecting the background area. Another very cool feature, which I think is more than just the mic itself, is an extension of it, is the Shure Motiv desktop app. So we're gonna check that out right now and see its different settings and modes. So first things first, you're gonna have all of this over here. At the very top, you have two levels, which is the auto level and the manual. Let's start with the manual, since that shows us most of the features that this microphone has to offer. You can play with all of these settings and then save them as a preset for different versions of your recording scenarios. And then over here you have the mic mute button, which is just exactly what this guy did earlier. Then you have the microphone gain, which is also what this slider does over here. And then you have the monitor mix, where you can mix how your headphones listen to either the direct microphone signal or your computer audio. And you can mix them up to perhaps avoid any issues with latency, depending on your computer type. Then you have the different EQ types. Right now we are on flat. Let's try to toggle high pass, which will remove some of those boomy frequencies. This is high pass enabled. And now we're gonna have a bit of a presence boost. And this is the presence boost feature. And finally, this is the high pass and presence boost. And that's how this sounds like. We're gonna bring it back to flat. And you also have a limiter in case, especially for gamers who might be going through various levels throughout their streams and at some point may get very excited and say something very loud out of nowhere, and the limiter aims to keep that high peak clipping volumes to a minimum. And then you've got the compressor, which we will also play with right now. This is the light compression being applied. This is the medium compression being applied. And this is the heavy compression being applied. I'm gonna take off the compressor, keep it on flat so that everybody can hear it relatively neutral. And then we've got two things over here that actually affect the LEDs on the microphone. The first is the live meter. So while I am talking into the microphone, you can see the lights jumping and dancing to the signal. And then you've got night mode, which pretty much just dims the lights to make it less bright at night, which was a cool little accidental rhyme. Now these are the manual settings, which kind of explain themselves in case you want to have more granular control over how the microphone works for you. Whereas the auto level can be a little bit more creative. So here you have the near feature, and this kind of lets the mic be adjusted to you being closer to the microphone. And if I click on the far feature, I'm gonna step away from the mic and it's going to do its software magic to make sure that it picks up my voice while I'm further from the mic. Let's bring it back to near. And now you have the tone ones, which are some of my favorite adjustments. They're pretty cool. Here you have the dark tone, and the dark tone obviously is going to make me sound much more boomy. I sound like a radio host. And then you have the bright feature, which is a whole lot more punchy, present, and maybe for my voice can even sound a bit nasally, but for most people I'm sure it's going to sound great. I'm going to bring it back to natural, and then again you have the LED settings also in the auto mode. And that's the Shure Motiv app. So why do we like this microphone so much? Honestly, with this kit, it comes with this really cool stand, which is very sturdy, very on point, and it matches everything. The design is beautiful to look at. So if you're a podcaster with a visual element to your creative side, this would be a lovely addition. Although that's a superficial feature, it's still a beautiful feature. It's very well designed, and the body and casing is entirely metal, and it feels really good in the hand. But at the same time, it's not that big, bulky, or heavy, so you can definitely carry it around without having any issue. It's entirely USB powered from the micro USB to USB-A connection. The box also comes with a micro USB to USB-C connection, so you shouldn't have any issues connecting it to whatever outlet that your computer might need. Most of all, our favorite feature is that this is a dynamic mic which both works via USB and XLR, meaning that you're not just constrained by having this primarily for your computer. If for whatever reason you need this to expand more into your hub, then you've definitely got that option to use it with an XLR without needing to connect it to a preamp that has phantom power. This is a dynamic mic, and don't be fooled by that title. It is very sensitive. It can pick up almost anything you would want it to pick up, and as I'm sure you can tell throughout this whole video, that's how it sounds like. So primarily throughout the whole video you've been listening to this microphone via the USB signal, and now you're gonna be switching it back to the XLR, which we're recording to an external interface, which is the Zoom H5, and the gain is at about 55%, and this is how that sounds like. This is the Shure MV7, and we're listening to it via the XLR output. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Thank you for tuning in with us. I hope you enjoyed this little series. Stay tuned because we will be doing a comparison with the Shure MV7 and the SM7B. I still don't have a goodbye catchphrase to these videos, so just see you soon, I guess.